I'm of the opinion that performance marketing has and is killing creativity.
Consumers' attention earlier was on TV, so you had to make TV ad. Now it's on digital, on Instagram. Solve for it.
Ever since AI has come in, everyone's using AI, the ads end up looking the same.
Your controls as a media buyer are going to reduce with time. I keep telling people that the time from which a person clicks till the time the landing page loads, that is the time the consumer is convincing himself to not buy. People who say that performance marketing is bad for brands are the people who neither understand brand building nor understand performance.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that at all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of This Living Room. If you're sick and tired of this living room, I am sick and tired of this too, but we made a promise to ourselves in that we are going to continue doing this till we receive an Emmy. So till the time we get an Emmy, we're going to keep doing this. So I guess just live with it. This bugger keeps showing up and then we have to record. So here's what it is.
We'll have to do this for 30 years, huh?
Yeah, well.
Yeah. There's some music playing in the background. I like it.
Outside.
Yeah.
I'm
very excited about this because this is like my world.
This podcast.
So let's bring it.
Okay. So I'm going to straight away attack you.
All right.
Yeah. This entire podcast is going to be me attacking you. Okay. You're a performance marketer. Yeah, you're a performance marketing agency.
Yes.
Yeah. I think most performance marketing creatives are absolute shit. Okay, and let me preface that. A lot of the portfolios I see today, I mean, so a lot of young people have very big dreams of creating great work, but a lot of the portfolio, the actual work that they create when they go to agencies are ads, right? Digital media ads. Most of the ads are shit. Okay. Now, I'm of the opinion, personal opinion, you don't have to agree with me, you don't have to agree with me. I'm of the opinion that performance marketing has and is killing creativity. What do you, as a performance marketer,
oh, this is so much fun,
have to say about this?
You know what has really happened? And the thing which has really happened is that for the first time, performance marketing has exposed creative. Okay. And I'll qualify this. Back in the day, you could get away with one film a year, going to a client, pitching an idea, right? Telling them fancy tales of how this piece of advertising which you would make would move the needle for the brand, right? No accountability whatsoever, because by the time the brand figured what was happening, it would be 3 to 6 months, because then you would say that, oh, now we've run the ad, sales uplift is going to happen later, all this and all that, right? So you could get away with 1 year, with one film, with zero accountability.
But you're talking about the 90s.
I'm talking about anything which is non-performance linked. And I'll qualify what performance and non-performance means, right? So you could get away with it, okay? Brands would then have other reasons to attribute, saying, oh, this happened, that happened, competition did this, that. So your work would continue. Today, you can't get away with shit creative. And the exposure of the performance of the creative industry is happening because of data being available. And guess what? The industry was used to having contracts where the delivery would be one campaign a year, at best 3-4 campaigns a year. When a performance marketing agency comes to the creative and says that I need 50 assets a month, that depth doesn't exist. That is the challenge. So the shit creatives, absolutely. Okay. And I'll qualify this. Okay. Out of 100 blind films which were made in the past, or even today, 60-70% are shit.
Yeah. Okay. I buy that.
So shit creative is happening on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Here though, the accountability is within 3 days. Because the moment you start spending money, you get metrics back. right? And you can go back and say, change this. You don't wait for 12 months. So it's exposing creative. Creative has to work much harder. Creative has to do a lot more versus back in the day when these metrics were not available.
But so you're honestly saying that the quality of creativity, right? The kind of creativity that you and me grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same age, similar kind of upbringing, similar industries. Are you saying that the quality of creative has not fallen?
It has.
It has.
Why though?
Why?
Yeah.
Correct. Why has it?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So I'll give you an example, right? So if you tell me that I have 12 months of 50 lakh rupee budget, okay, to produce the ad, and I have about another 50 lakhs to spend on consumer research, and I have to build one creative asset. All performance marketing creative agencies will be able to do creative as good as any other mainline agency. The challenge is not that. The challenge is you have to turn around 50 ads in a month. It's not a like-to-like comparison.
No, so let me draw you a metaphor. The canvas size for creativity was this big. So whether it was a print ad, whether it was a poster, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like static.
Yeah.
Okay. Digital medium didn't exist back in the day.
Yeah.
So there was either film, which was moving picture.
Yeah.
Right. Or it was static, which was retail. It was whatever. Yeah. Right. Now, forget about advertising, forget about marketing. If you go to a child and give them an A4 sheet of paper and you say, do whatever that you want, right? Write whatever, create whatever, draw whatever on an A4 piece of paper.
Yeah.
They have the freedom and will to use different kinds of materials, different kinds of shapes. Yeah. So that's because of that size, they can do a lot more.
Yeah.
Then I tell a child, the same child, that you have a 1 by 1 square, 1 inch by 1 inch square. Be creative. Not only that, here are 50 squares. Be creative on each and every one of these squares.
Yeah.
So my point is that the child is creative because the child did create. Right? Now, because the canvas size has changed, the child cannot be creative in a 1 by 1 inch square. How? How are you going to be creative on a 1 on 1? Not that you can't. You can.
Yeah.
But the number goes down drastically. The ratio between good ideas and bad ideas goes down drastically.
Yeah, for sure. And so I'll give you another metaphor from a world which you might find a little hard to associate with. So a good cricketer has to play in the Indian subcontinent, has to play in Australia, has to play in England.
Yeah.
Right? Conditions are different.
Yeah.
Adaptation has to happen. If the medium has changed, so basically you're saying that the creative industry hasn't been able to adapt enough, right, to adapt to a smaller medium. So find the answer. This is how it is. You can't control where consumers' attention is going.
No, I'm not even talking about, see, you are talking about one day versus test.
No, right? I'm saying one day match, one happening in Bombay, the other happening in Lords.
But your pitch size is the same.
Your conditions are different. It's a condition.
Conditions are different. But your pitch size, you're still playing the same format. The bowler is not bowling from 2 feet away. The bowler is still bowling.
Yeah, but it's a very different world, by the way. Huh? Playing in India versus playing in England.
Sure, and the weather is different. The gravel is
different.
Swings,
all of that.
Yeah, all of that is
anyway,
different.
So I'm just forget the metaphor. Right? Reduction or change in.
No, what you're saying is very simple, and I buy that. You're saying that only the best will survive. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying it's very simple. Consumers' attention earlier was on TV, so you had to make TV ads.
Yeah.
Now it's on digital, and it's in that 1080 by 1080 grid on Instagram. Solve for it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's
as simple as that.
It's harder than you want it to be.
Yeah, so solve hard problems. You get paid for hard problems. Yeah? It's as simple as I have a creative team in house as well, right? As in I'm saying that I'm equally responsible for all the good and bad creatives which performance marketing does. And in fact, 99% of creatives that my team makes is performance marketing creatives. Are all of them great? Absolutely not. Right? But here is what you need to do, right? So you have to be better than the mean most of the time.
Yeah.
And you have to minimize the quantum of shit output that you give. So but you have to have one or two which are banger creatives. Right? So if I'm producing 50 ads for a brand in a month, my expectation with my team is not to make 50 banger ads. My expectation is to make 5 banger ads, 35 to 40 average ads, and reduce the absolute shit. If I can raise the medium, right? And if I can just get the baseline up, I'm doing a very good job.
Okay. So I have another question for you. How important is creativity in performance marketing from the perspective of a consumer? The consumer is looking to buy shoes, let's say.
Yeah.
Looking to buy certain sneakers or whatever. And they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, whatever, right? And they see an ad. How important is the creativity of an ad versus an ad that simply shows the product and says 20% off, which is not a creative ad,
yes,
but an ad that does the job of getting someone who is interested in that brand of shoes to come to the website and order, not order, that's beside the point, but at least come to the website.
Okay. So at a blanket level,
that's a good question. I'm asking a very intelligent question.
Yeah. Okay. So at a blanket level, from a consumer standpoint, the only thing which is important is the creative. Okay. The consumer doesn't care about how you are doing your media buying, right? Whether you are doing like super efficient media buying or shit media buying. So at a blanket level, it's only the creative. Okay. But there is a qualification. Okay. So let's take this example. Suppose I'm an apparel brand who's just launched a line of t-shirts, right? And my core line of t-shirts is plain t-shirts, right? Solids. My showcasing just a solid t-shirt and saying 20% off is not going to move the needle. As opposed to an H&M, when they run their sales, all they do is 70% up to 70% off. It doesn't even say any other which category, whatever, right? You know H&M. If you want to shop H&M, you see the handle name is H&M. You see, okay, there's up to 70% off. You go and do it. So the extent of creativity is a function of where your brand is at. It's a function of what you're trying to achieve. Now, for H&M, if they were launching a new collection, for example, right, that would require creative advertising, right? Because you're introducing something new. It would. But when they're doing their sales ad, they didn't need to tell the world who they are.
What you're essentially saying is that established brands, the quantum of creativity or the kind of power of creativity can be low, but for new age brands, emerging brands, the creativity has to be up high because it's a busy category.
Yes, not entirely true, but largely yes. And unfortunately, it's the smaller brands which require high quality creative, which have the lowest budget to make high quality creative. Right? So you are in this loop, right? As in, you don't get good creative, and because you don't get good creative, you don't get good results. And till you don't get good results, you can't get better creative.
And is there a sort of any metric as to, okay, the best creatives are always videos, or the best creatives are always statics, or is there anything like that, or a good creative is a good creative?
Okay, so how this works is that it's inventory allocation. Okay, Meta has, and like any other media platform, right? It has a certain amount of video inventory. It has a certain amount of inventory which is just a banner ad. It has a certain amount of inventory which is carousels. So these are known as placements. Each placement has a certain amount of inventory, right? Largely speaking, as a principle, brands prefer to run video ad because obviously the medium is more engaging. You can put your message out better, etc., which also means that that medium is the most expensive because maximum brands are competing for that inventory. It's a bidding model, right? So the CPMs will go up. But there are certain cases and there are certain ad accounts where we find that static creatives, simple banner ads as well, do as well as a video asset would, right? And then there is a funnel logic. So like, for example, prospecting, right? Or which means that getting first time new customers who have no experience of your brand before, for them there'll be a certain format in certain categories which will work better. So it's a category, funnel, stage of brand kind of nuance. So the way to do this as a principle is to start with wide inventory, right? Make founder content, make content creator content, make animated video, make banners, make carousels, right? And structure your messaging in a way that you're kind of delivering 2-3 key messages across, and then start finding things which work, and then double down there. It's experimentation.
Okay.
Also, there are arbitrage opportunities at different times of the year. So there'll be periods where you'll find that the algorithm itself is pushing a certain type of format, right? So if they introduce a new format, they'll start pushing that format. So you can ride that wave for a while. So there's an arbitrage as well, which happens over time.
Now, I don't know about you, but are we noticing a trend for the last maybe 4-5 months or so? Every time I'm on Instagram, I see a certain kind of advertising. I'm talking about performance, right? AI based. And as a user, so I'm a user, but I'm also in advertising. So I'm straddling both, right? As a user, I see different brands have very, very, very similar looking ads, because AI, ever since AI has come in, everyone's using AI, whether it's video generation, whether it's placing a product against a background or whatever it is, the ads end up looking the same.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's democratic. AI is democratic. Everyone has access to AI. With that in mind, how does one crack a great creative? I'm not talking about, because AI is the execution, right? How important is the idea behind the execution, or does it not? Again, and you're free to say it doesn't matter at all to the consumer.
No, it does. So I'll give you two. I'll answer this in two ways, right? I think the sameness of the creators, and I know what you mean, right? Like this dull yellow light, right? Slightly like this mood shotty kind of vibe, human being sitting in it.
Yeah.
A lot of the AI creatives are being done like that. Okay. It's not detailed enough art direction when you're prompting. Okay. So the ability for AI to give you a kind of visual which is not this, which is anything. So for example, for a brand that we were just doing, we got inspired by the Wes Anderson kind of the art style, right?
Yeah.
And all we had was a white background product shot. It's a kitchen appliances brand, very interesting brand, by the way, about to be launched, called Nesta. And with that, we were supposed to create lifestyle shots where we place it's an air fryer in the kitchen, right? It's not like that. It doesn't have that kind of vibe. So the team was able to put art direction, which was significantly different, right? So you can.
But the images that you had access to were plain white background.
I had just a plain white background image. So we put everything in place, right? As in, it was put in a kitchen, it had a kitchen backdrop, etc. All of that. It's possible, okay? So I'm saying that if you know art direction well enough, you can kind of create different scenarios, right? So that's one part. The sameness is because if you just put a prompt in GPT or Gemini saying, show me a happy mother with a 5-year-old child drinking a glass of milk, chances are it's going to be the same kind of image which is going to come, right? But if you then start adding layers to the art direction around it, which camera to use, what angle, POV shot, cinematic, this, that, all of that, which I don't know at all, but my team does, you can get different vibes on the art as well. Coming back to your question about idea, I think idea is core to creative, man.
No, but this, what you just spoke about, right? There is no idea in what you just said.
No. I'm talking about, we were trying to create a certain vibe for the brand. This was not for ads, this was for their A+ content, as in this was for their brand content, right? And there is a reason behind this, because the brand basically celebrates the quirkiness around cooking and food for people, right? So there is a larger thought built behind this, and this was the one part of the execution, right? The idea is super critical. So just to talking about this brand again, right? So this is about quirks in cooking and eating. So one of the social media campaigns we did for them was we got a guy to go around South Delhi with a mic and ask people to box pop kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tell me, what are the weird things that you do in the kitchen? What are the weird things? How do you eat weirdly? Like I eat poha with ketchup and pretty much everything with ketchup, right? Yeah. So those kind of weird things, and that's the narrative of the brand.
But that was a performance marketing ad.
No. That was for the social campaign. So I'm just telling you what the brand thought is, and then everything linked to it, right? So the art direction also is linked to it. The art direction. So typically, if you look at kitchen appliances brands, kaisa hota hai art, right? it's very scientific with these mnemonics and
Yeah. The tech bit is the
yeah. Then there is this
call outs and stuff.
Call out,
Yeah.
and then this thing is rotating, right? Food is getting cooked slow mo, and fumes are coming out. None of that is happening. This is like an aesthetic looking kind of vibe on the brand that we put together. All that is very doable, by the way.
No, so tell me, as someone who consumes ads, you consume a lot of ads. What is the most creative performance marketing campaign / ad that you've seen? Could be an Indian brand, could be global, whatever. Like you watched that ad not because of you wanting to buy the product, because you watched it for the sheer joy of watching that ad. Is there any campaign that you remember? Because I don't.
No, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example of an Indian D2C brand, Pofora. And I don't remember exactly what the messaging of the ad was because it's been a while. But it was a carousel with just text. Okay. And 4-5 slide carousel with just text, and it started by a personalized message by the founder. Okay, I think the founder's name is Jatin, if I remember correctly, or whatever. So the founder started with that message saying, "Hey, this is Jatin. I'm the founder of Pofora," and then blah 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 5 slides. Very well written, very to the point, delivered the message on the brand completely. And at a time when everybody is bombarding you with the content which has a hook and which is meant to pop out of the feed, this popped out in a very different way for me. I was like, okay, why is there English written on why is there no visual? Why is there nobody jumping? And I read through the whole thing and the message got delivered like that. Those are things which are possible.
Okay.
Like a controversial ad which my team did, right? On a pet care brand, right? And so the largest category of pet care food, like dog food, is kibble, right? And there are studies which now demonstrate that kibble is not good for dogs.
Yeah.
It kills dogs, right? In the long run, gives them cancer, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
We did an ad which had which was like a newspaper. So within the ad was a newspaper clipping which said some message around your dog has so many years left because of what the dog is eating. Okay. Created simple banner. Got so much conversation going, and
yeah, that's a great ad
and polarizing.
Yeah.
Right? People were saying, "Hey, how can you be so insensitive?" And they were like, the brand was that we want to get the message out there, and this is like one of the hard-hitting ways of getting the, and it got a lot of conversions on the brand as well.
No, that's a great ad.
Yeah.
So when you're hiring for your performance marketing in creative, what kind of people are you looking for? For example, are you looking someone who has, let's say, mainline experience?
Yeah.
Right? Would that person be a good fit for a performance marketing agency / team?
Yes. So there are two parts to this, right? One is the art, right? Which is
by art you mean design, or by art you mean craft?
No, the craft.
The craft,
right? The craft or the art of finding or expressing the idea is one part of the job, right? But I think specifically for performance marketing, a large part of the work in creative is basically drawing the connection between consumer need, which is benefit or problem, right? What the product can solve for, and then what do I need to say to move the needle, right? So if you are used to getting watertight briefs, right, as a copywriter, who's like, I don't know what this brand is about. You have told me that this ad should say this, right? Classical way of brief writing.
Yeah.
Single line brief will come that this is the message that I want to deliver, right? If you don't have the ability to understand product, brand, consumer, which to an extent is not needed in mainline, right? So you need to have human emotion understanding, and then you need to have empathy, etc. But
also you need to come from a strategic space.
Yes and no, right? You can kind of get away with it because if you understand human empathy, as in if you understand that and if you're able to make human connection, you can still get away with not going too deep into strategy. In performance, you can't. As in, you need to be able to kind of draw these lines, right? Okay, consumer need says this. Okay, they want this. These are the problems that they're facing with their existing solutions. This is something which I've identified, right? Like simple things like so there are a bunch of ads which happen around balding for men, right? Now, lazy creative is you are going bald, here is my solution, right? Then finding that nuance, right? As in what are the signs, and this discovery has to be done by the copywriter, because there's no research agency which is giving you insight, right? Discovery around nuance around this.
But isn't that a learning curve?
It is a learning curve, but the appreciation, right? That, oh, this is how I need to kind of think.
But not only this is how I need to think, but it's not simply about drawing a connection from the problem to the product to the benefit.
Yeah.
It's about doing that into 50 times.
Yes and no. So, for example, so let's say
every ad needs to be different.
So let's say that we find, okay, let's build on this balding example, right? Let's say that we say that one of the ways guys notice when they start balding is that if they run their hands through their hair, there is hair on the hand.
Yeah, or the comb.
On the comb, comb to chalo, whatever, or shirt has hair, right?
Or pillow,
whatever. So finding hair when it shouldn't, where it shouldn't be, are the first signs of hair loss. Now, once you've identified this as a symptom, which can kind of get people to notice your brand, hey, I'm going through this, right? You don't have to find 50 different symptoms. I'm saying this symptom itself then needs to be expressed in 50 different creative ways.
Understand?
Right? Yeah. So the angle or the problem or whichever way you want to call it,
which is a human insight,
which is human insight, category problem, whatever. You need 5-7 of those, and then they can expand into like 100, 150, 200 ads. Right? So that's the way to think about it. So it's not linear that every time I have to discover something new about the consumer and then make it into ad. Right? Because this whole thing, right? Hair on shirt, there are 10 UGC ideas around it, there are 10 banner ad ideas around it, right? There are 10 abstract visual ideas around it. So then you can,
and then you see what works, what doesn't work.
Then you can expand your creative library.
So just to sort of wrap up, you're saying that creativity as a sort of thing that, I mean, people think themselves to be creative, that has not died, you're saying?
No, of course not. Okay, so with latest updates by platforms, right? The only real differentiator which is left, right? Or the only way to make a moat on the brand is your creative capability. Going forward, that is going to become more and more the case, right? Media buying is going to become more and more algorithmic. Your controls as a media buyer are going to reduce with time. The only thing which brands have is number one, their ability to build brand, and number two, and which is also interlinked, their ability to make great creative. That's it.
Sorry, one last question. I completely forgot. How important is storytelling in all of this?
We spoke about this, right? Storytelling is center to everything. If you are making creative where there is no narrative, there is no story,
how much of a story can you possibly say in a 1x1 square in 10 seconds?
What is that? What is that exercise in copywriting where there's a 2-line story?
It's not called anything. It's a 3-line story.
There's the thing, no? The queen died and something like that. You remember there's basic storytelling, the teaching model. So essentially it's a 3-line story, right? Exactly like 8 words. We should find that, right? But in that 3 lines, it opens so many doors that you start wondering about. So basically the story is something that the king died, the queen was in tears, looking out of the window at the knight standing below, something like that.
Yeah,
right.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
right. So it's just a wordplay of about 20 odd words.
Yeah,
but the way they are constructed is like, oh, is she dating the knight?
Yeah,
yeah. Why the king died? How did the king die? Right. It opens up so many possibilities. You can do that, right? And you know this better than anybody, right? Like you give somebody 10 words, and you can make people go absolutely bonkers in 10 words. 10 words, one powerful visual. It's just that the problem is the frequency at which you have to hit the ball out of the park is much more in performance. Unfortunately, that is the problem. The nature of the algorithm is such that you have to get these bangers every week, which is why you default to templatized advertising, right? You default to a certain extent plagiarism as well. That you'll see a UGC of a brand with
and then you copy that,
and then you find something make something very similar to it, and that cycle then becomes like every ad starts looking the same, right? It's just that pressure on volume which kind of gets you down that path. But I think with performance marketing, the power of creative and the role of creative has expanded.
It's also insanely more challenging.
It is.
It's very challenging.
Yeah, because see, the way the world changed was two things, right? As in when the cookie dropped in the browser, and when pixel tracking came in, right? So essentially, it's like this little stalker who's following you around everywhere on your internet, right? Now that's like a digital marketer's wet dream, right? Oh, where did you go? Oh, you went to this website. Ah, you opened this page. Oh, let me find you. Let me show you something like that, right? So, like the geek and the nerd go absolutely wild, man. They can kind of track everything that you're doing online, right? And then all the metrics. Okay, what is the CTR? What is the CPM? How much click? How much time did the guy spend on the website, right? So you get so much in the feedback loop, and you have to churn out so much creative. So if you take it in a way saying that, hey, listen, I'm getting signals, right? And if you start thinking of your creative process as experiment design, right? So that I have loosely 4 or 5 ideas, let me just throw them out there. It's simple, right? It's the way you make organic content as well, right? If you want to become a content creator, you find a niche and you start.
This is what we're doing with this podcast.
Exactly.
Also,
yeah, we're just kind of throwing shit out there, right? And see what sticks.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how it is. And there the good thing is that the metrics, there's so many detailed metrics available. So now imagine this, right? You start seeing an ad, okay? I keep telling people that the time from which a person clicks till the time the landing page loads, that is the time the consumer is convincing himself to not buy the product. Okay? Excitement happened, saw the ad, clicked, right? And that's when doubt starts sleeping. Oh, am I going to be fooled? Right?
That is damn good insight, yeah.
This really worth it, right? So objections start coming in. Now from the ad till the landing page, the end of the landing page, you got to solve for those objections, which by the way is also a creative process, right? How are you designing the landing page? Do you even understand that? Suppose, like, let's take this air fryer example, right? What happens? You saw the ad, it was a very good looking, innovative air fryer. You came on the landing page. What objections would people have? Right? What thought? Oh, is it going to be healthy? Is it going to be able to cook enough for my family? Is it too small? So number one, do you know these objections? Are you handling them on the landing page? So if you are really somebody who likes getting into detail and creative, performance marketing is mind-blowing. There's so much more you can do. There's so much tinkering. There doesn't have to be one landing page. So the same thesis, right? You can make 5 different landing pages and see what sticks.
Interesting. I just think that performance marketing just has a very bad reputation for being a sucker of creativity. It's just like the vacuum. It's where creativity goes to die. But I think we've established that it's not where creativity goes to die. It's where creativity goes to thrive, provided that you see it as a challenge.
People who say that performance marketing is bad for brands are exactly the people who don't understand.
No, I don't think people say it's bad for brand.
No, a lot of people do. Go on LinkedIn half the time. Oh, performance marketing versus brand. Performance marketing is killing brand building. Okay. The people who say that are the people who neither understand brand building nor understand performance.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I don't subscribe to that at all.
This whole debate complete.
Okay, so kids, to wrap up, your future doesn't just lie in advertising agencies. If you're an art director, designer, copywriter, whatever, it also lies in performance marketing agencies, because I've worked on some campaigns. He works on campaigns every single day, and honestly, that feedback loop is important. It's that challenge of creating something constantly in that small space in different mediums and seeing what clicks, what doesn't click.
And if you're looking for a career opportunity, we are always hiring.
He is always hiring, not me.
HR at 367.agency. Ananya, who handles HR for us, will kind of get back to you. And very happy to get like talent which is excited about creative.
Yeah, punch in code this living room OCT to get hired.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.